Okay. For those who may not have seen these before, I don't know if anybody has not. Has anybody not seen these products? You all seen them? Okay, go for dinner. That's expanded just quickly, and that's down. So that's its movement capacity. And this one moves 15 degrees off centre, plus it moves in and out 50 mil. This is the one that goes on slabs. This is the one that prevents the IO from getting buggered, you might say, because the IO generally is about here to here away. We recommend that you put 2 of these with a small section of, say, 500 mil pipe, so that you have what we call an articulated movement. So it protects not only the slab pipe movement, but also protects the IO from heave underneath here. That's probably becoming more and more popular than this one, because that's straight line work. Does that make sense? Yep. Storm plastic's been around for 18 years, and the products have been around for about 18 years. And this is the first time I think it's been properly been acknowledged in the standards. The product, we just spoke about that. The articulation, where we just covered now, is up here. The 2 swivels coming out of the slab with the lagging. This is really critical. New South Wales are a crazy lot. They put a piece of carpet or underlay around the pipe, and that's their lagging. And they put concrete over the top of it, and if that lagging was 10 mil, it's reduced to 5 immediately. When it dries, it's probably reduced to 3. And that could be on a moderately active site or ground, and that would need 10 to 15 mil of movement. It hasn't got it. If you don't have these swivels inside, I'll guarantee you this joint here will crack. I'll guarantee you that. People say, no, not possible. They never put 20 mil thickness around on that lagging. Then we suggest that an expander goes on the vertical because of the heat that's in this soil here. And of course we put an expander on the horizontal to protect this junction. And also, if there's any twisting, that can be handled. That was if you've got room to put them in. A lot of them with this so-called zero alignment trend, which is an absolute mongrel. You can't, and that's when you're restricted for space. But that's a luxury when you talk zero alignment. That's how you do it, and you just simply put in your swivels, which have got the 50mm expansion, and you've got all your expanders down in here, which allow the pipe to move. So we think we've put as much duty of care protection into that slab as we can. God knows what happens when this retaining wall starts to go out. You'll take
You didn't say if, did you?
No, because it will. Because this will simply drop, the swivel will go to its maximum, and then after that cracking will occur. No 2 ways about it. We don't know whether it'll be 5 years.
At least there's some warning.
But we've done everything we can right now. We've taken as much care as we can. Is that a good explanation? Yeah. This is a fantastic shot because so many people out there, when you say put an expansion joint in, they believe it's a piece of rubber. Just a sleeve. You can buy them, Fernco sleeves, they've work under different names, Aquarius produce them, Dex produce them. The sleeves that are produced that are just a simple rubber sleeve are for joints. You clamp them on, they're just for joints to give a margin amount of movement. They will never, ever go out or, more importantly, come back. Never. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3, the bands aren't tight enough to prevent roots because the roots can squeeze in under the membrane. And when they do that. So please don't use that as an interpretation. I call it perceived because a lot of people go talk to any tradie, he says, yeah, I use those expansion joints. They ain't. They're cheap. They're cheap. Exactly right. I threw that shot in because it's broken pipes equal underground erosion. Doesn't matter if it's in a main thing like here at Ipswich, it's a 5 metre hole. It can be just as important to have a 1 metre hole in your house. Talking about this, when it comes to creep applications, and Dominic's alerted us to the situation, we have a thing we call it a bazooka. It actually expands into tracks like this at 500 millimetres. It's used in tidal areas, and it's also used now, it's got a home in creep applications where you have potential a long way away connection from the house to the main. You can put 1 or 2 in line, and you've got a metre of expansion in case of creep. Not slip, creep. And that's an example where it would go. You need an expander somewhere there, probably a swivel here. You need your bazooka, called the bazooka because it's as big as one. And you might have 1 or you might have 2. We also suggest you put on stormwater tanks, you put an expander there, potentially 1 if you've got a retaining wall, and I would strongly suggest 1 across here somewhere. And they're 90 mils and they move about 90 mils as well. New draft. I hope people read it. That's my biggest hope. And I particularly hope plumbers read it. Yeah, I know.
Does it have a half-naked girl somewhere in the middle of it?
It's a good idea.
Does it have a half-naked girl somewhere in the middle of it?
In colour.
No plumber will read it.
So there's a lady present.
I'm aware of what I'm saying, but no plumber will read it.
They don't like reading, they like cartoons or pictures. Is that what you're inferring? If you can take that to the board. I'm sure you get 20 out of 22 votes for it.
We'll have that standard full of cartoons.
Possibly.
Some of the punchlines are good.
This backfill, which Bruce was alluding to, the backfills on is that right? As a plug, not being done. Just not being done. You come out underneath the slab, if you're allowed, and the hole that it comes through should be backfilled with a plug of clay.
It's got crushed rock under it. To level it. They've
They've
all got crushed rock under them.
No, coming out from the...
That's where they've got the crushed rock.
It's got to stop water from going
No,
back.
they've all got crushed rock under them to
I don't
level
care
it.
about crushed rock.
Yeah, but he's telling you that they're doing it with crushed rock.
Oh, I didn't catch you said it's human.
Yeah,
Sorry,
they're doing them with crushed rock to level, because you can't level in clay.
Well, go to the Plumbing Industry Commission and look at their technical solutions. You will find how they tell you, if you've got to go under footings, how they draw it so that you do it the right way. I only just showed this to Dominic about an hour and a half ago. And he clearly jumped on the same thing that scared me, was that the pipe's 25 millimetres under the footings. I thought, why would you do that?
They can span 25. Can't the footings span 25?
Surely, the ground can move that easily. And then further along here, they've got other ones as well, but not once in this technical solution brochure. I'm not having a shot at them, but not once do they mention plug backfills. Why do plumbers go wrong? They don't talk about this at apprenticeship stage. They do not talk about this in their sand pits when we go down and do the TAFE colleges. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about reactive soils, another one for the standard maybe. Anyway, that's what that point's. Oh, that's what that point there is saying. And then it says this down here: plumbing and drainage under the slab should be avoided where possible. Where possible. Got me?